Hi, and welcome back to another video of the Victorian Detective. Let's quickly review what we did last time. The victim has an old scar from a gunshot, so he's probably been in combat situations before, you say. Sure, says Mardler, but how does that prove he wasn't randomly mugged? You step back and ponder for a moment. You suppose soldier veterans can be randomly mugged as well. But look here, says Mardler. He examines the cigarette ash on the ground. There are 2 piles of ash, which means he was here for a relatively long time. I think you're right that this wasn't a random victim, and he knew his attacker. He probably comfortably conversed with him. Good point. Mardler scratches his chin. We still don't know who he is or why he was killed. While there is something distinct about the victim, you say, maybe it can help identify him. You should point out the uniqueness of... All right, so that's our recap from last time. If you don't understand all of this and you would like to, please go back to the first video of the Victorian Detective. All right, the uniqueness of, he's got an old scar from a gunshot, his clothes, his cigarette, the chemicals under his fingernails. Maybe? All right, so let's look up chemicals. So these are chemicals, 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 chemicals. The chemicals under his fingernails. So right there, right there, right there, right there. The chemicals under his fingernails. Let's see. Deductive reasoning fail. The victim was clearly a chemist. All right, so let's look up a chemist. This is a chemist, this is a chemist, this is a chemist. A chemist works with chemicals. The victim was clearly a chemist, and we can determine the chemicals under his fingernails and deduce where he acquired them, you say. So we can determine the chemicals under his fingernails, we can find out the chemicals under his fingernails and deduce where he acquired them and figure out where he got them from. So far, I found traces of sulfur and charcoal. Sulfur, sulfur, sulfur. I found traces, so just a little bit, a very tiny amount. I found traces of sulfur and charcoal. Charcoal. What do you think? I think sulfur and charcoal are in a cigarette. And charcoal. Those are pretty generic substances, says Mardler. Sounds tedious. Those are pretty generic substances. So a substance is something. And it's generic, meaning it's general, meaning it's normal. Sounds tedious. Sounds boring. Mardler looks at the body again. This is some pretty weird rolling paper. Red argyle, he says. Rolling paper. So this is some rolling paper, some weird rolling paper. So you would put the tobacco in the paper, and then you would roll it up. This is some pretty weird rolling paper. Red argyle, he says. Red argyle. Yeah, some red argyle rolling paper. Let's see if we can find some red argyle rolling paper. Oh yeah, something like this. You catch a whiff of the tobacco. You catch a whiff, so there's a smell in the air and it goes into your nose. You catch a whiff. You catch a whiff of the tobacco. This is tobacco. This is tobacco. This is the tobacco in a cigarette. This is the tobacco in a cigarette. Cigarettes are filled with tobacco. You catch a whiff of the tobacco. Your keen nose identifies it as thuốc lào, a potent Vietnamese strand. So this is Vietnamese. This is not English. Thuốc lào is Vietnamese. Your keen nose. Your nose is very sharp. That's thuốc lào. A potent Vietnamese strand. Potent means powerful. So it's a powerful Vietnamese strand. It's a powerful Vietnamese type of tobacco. That's a rare strand of tobacco as well, called thuốc lào. If you're Vietnamese, I would love to know how to say this. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I bet only a handful of smoke shops carry both thuốc lào and red argyle rolling paper, says Mardler. So let's look at a smoke shop. So a smoke shop looks like this on the outside, and they would have cigarettes, they would have vapes. So a smoke shop would have cigarettes. A smoke shop would have vapes. They might have pipes, like this, smoking pipes. They might have pipes like this. So a smoke shop will have all of this stuff. And they would have rolling paper. I bet only a handful of smoke shops, a handful, so a small amount of smoke shops. I bet only a handful, a small amount, of smoke shops carry both thuốc lào and red argyle rolling paper, says Mardler. We should check out some exotic smoke shops and see if we can find the one our victim frequented. So we should check out some exotic smoke shops. So exotic means different, not from the place where you are. So if you live in America, China is exotic. Argentina is exotic. Or Vietnam is exotic. So it's places outside of where you are. We should check out some exotic smoke shops and see if we can find the one our victim frequented. Frequented means went to often. Continue. Whoop. Continue. Why isn't it working? Let's see. Familiar with combat. Chemicals under his fingernails. Continue. All right. You and Mardler find yourselves at the Gentleman's Flame. That's the name of an exotic smoke shop in the Balham district. I don't know where the Balham district is. You see, they sell both thuốc lào and red argyle rolling paper. Remember, red argyle looks like this. Browsing different types and strands of tobacco, you see a beautiful young woman. She has long almond hair and a set of pearly white teeth. So you're browsing different pipes and strands of tobacco. Sorry. You're looking at different types of pipes, different types of smoking pipes. So there's different types of smoking pipes and different strands of tobacco. Let's see if we can find different ones. So the different strands of tobacco might smell different, might look different. And you see a beautiful young woman. She has long almond hair. Almond hair. So it would be like this. An almond hair color. Almond hair. And a set of pearly white teeth. So we say pearly white when it's very, very white, because pearls are very, very white. So her teeth are pearly white. Behind the counter, so let me show you. So this guy is behind the counter. This guy is behind the counter. This guy is behind the counter. Behind the counter, you see the store owner arguing with his wife. She's fuming mad. That means she's really, really mad. Ranting about missing profit from last month in his regular absence from home. So she's fuming mad, ranting about missing profit. So she's ranting. She's ranting about missing profit. So profit in a business. The profit in a business is if you have, let's say you have a store and the rent for your store costs $1,000. And then the products in your store, all of the pipes, all of the tobacco, all of the cigarettes cost $500. That means you're spending, that means you're spending $1,500 to run your store. But if you make $2,000, then your profit is $500. So the wife is saying that there's missing profit. It's gone. She doesn't know where it is. Ranting about missing profit from last month and his regular absence from home. That means the husband is not home regularly. So he's usually out. He's not usually home. So his absence, that means he's not there. So his regular absence from home. He's usually not at home. How can I help you, gentlemen? Asks the man as he pushes his wife away. He fans the room's thick air with a weathered top hat. So he fans the room. He fans the room's thick air. So it's thick because in the smoke shop, it's smoky. Smoky room. It's smoky in the room. It's smoky in the smoke shop. So the owner fans the air with a weathered top hat. So this is a top hat. And this is what it looks like when it's new. But when it's weathered, that means it's old. It's been worn for a long time. This is weathered. It's older. This is weathered. It's a weathered top hat. This is a weathered top hat. So he fans the room's thick air with a weathered top hat, revealing a head of diminishing wispy white hairs. Diminishing means it's getting smaller and smaller, or less and less. So that means the man took off his weathered top hat to fan the thick, smoky air, and it showed a head of diminishing wispy white hairs. So he's losing his hair. Wispy white hairs. Man. So wispy is like wispy. Let's see if I can show you. Wispy is like this. So he has less and less white hair. Have you sold any tuklao recently? Asks Mardler as he puts his hand down on the counter. It's part of an investigation. They're investigating. It's an investigation. An investigation. It's part of an investigation. So Mardler is saying that his question, have you sold any tuklao recently, is part of an investigation. I don't recall off the top of my head, chuckles the man. I don't recall off the top of my head, chuckles the man. So that means he doesn't know right now. He can't think of it right now. But maybe he might be able to think of it later if he thinks longer and harder. Grinning a crooked smile of white teeth and rapping his fingers on the counter expectantly. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going like this on my desk. So the man is saying, give me some money. That's what he's saying. So he's rapping his fingers. He's rapping his fingers on the counter expectantly. Come on, give me something. He's expecting something. All right, what to do? Threaten that you'll tell his wife about his affair. Oh no. Or tell him you know he's a murderer. What? I didn't know these things. So threaten that you'll tell his wife about his affair. An affair is when you're married and then, so this is the man and this is the woman and they're married. But then there's another woman that the man also likes. That's an affair. So threaten that you'll tell his wife about his affair. Hey, I'll tell your wife that you like another girl. Or tell him you know he's a murderer. A murderer is someone who kills people. All right, what should we do? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the next episode of The Victorian Detective next week. And please share this video with your friends if you found it interesting and entertaining. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.